I want to show you how to make many different enemies from just one sprite. So I have a bat here, down here, and how do we make enemies keep on appearing randomly all over the place? Well, what we can do is we can use something called cloning. So we just have one bat and we can clone many different enemies from that. Clone or copy might be another word you could use. So in the previous video, I created a little bit of code here that simply makes this bat randomly move around. If it hits the edge, it bounces off. However, I want a new one of these to appear every 3 seconds, and if they hit the edge, I want them to disappear, as if they've flown off. So how do I make them appear? Well, what I do is I actually say when the green flag is clicked, forever, I want to wait. Well, let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's say wait a random number of seconds between 1 and 5. So it could be 1 second, could be 2, could be 3, could be 4, could be 5. And then after they've waited that length of time, scroll down here and create a clone of myself. Okay. Then the block that goes with this is when I start as a clone. So this script will be run by every new bat clone. What do you want every new bat clone to do? Well, that's this stuff. Okay, we want this to happen when we start as a clone. And also, when I start as a clone, we want this stuff to happen as well. So whenever a new clone starts, they'll run through this script and through this script as well. If we're on the edge, we didn't want them to bounce. Well, let's just run it and see what happens so far. So we wait a few seconds. Wait, there's one of the clones. There's another one of the clones. There's another one of the clones. Oh, there's another one. Okay, but they're not disappearing when they hit the edges. So let's take out this. And we'll say if touching edge, we actually want to delete this clone. Let's see how that works. Okay, they're all appearing in the same spot. How do we make them appear in different spots? Well, that's pretty easy actually. When I start as a clone, don't go to that same spot. Let's put in some random numbers in there. So x goes from over here, I think, let's have a look, 240, negative 240 to positive 240. So negative 240 to positive 240. And the y variable, which is up and down, so the y axis is negative, well, we don't want it touching the edge, so we'll say negative 160 to 160. And the other thing you might notice is that this one we're creating all the clones for, we can see him. We don't want to be able to see the original one, so we should probably go to the looks and say hide. And then when I start as a clone, show. Let's try that. So he's been hidden, and we should have clones. Oh, that one appeared right next to the edge and flew off. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And they're appearing and flying off. And of course, if we didn't want them flying off, we'd just replace this with if touching edge, if on edge bounce. And pretty soon we would end up with lots of them. Another thing you could do instead of if they're touching the edge disappearing is you could say, okay, after a certain amount of time, we want them to disappear. So you could say, when I start as a clone, wait 5 seconds, and then delete this clone. Let's try running that, see if that works. Okay, there's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whoop, it disappeared. So there are lots of different ways you can play around with this cloning feature to make enemies. Good luck and have fun.